Hey, Miss Sarah, thank you for checking in tonight. Miss Nicole right behind you, thank y'all for checking in here on Wednesday Night Live. And there's Miss Wilma Wheeler right behind you too. Thank y'all so much. Looks like more checking on here. That's Sarah's old Prince Charming. Thank you for checking in with us there, all the way from Huntsville, Alabama. Let's see who else is coming here. Let's see. Hey there, Miss Wilma saying hello to everybody. Hope everybody check on. Please take a moment if you can. Text somebody. Share our post or something with somebody. See to encourage others to watch. It's very important stuff we got coming down here tonight. I just want to give a few minutes for everybody to catch on that wants to be on, and of course it will be recorded and kept on this Facebook page for others who need to view it at a later time. So anyhow, please, if you can, know somebody that needs to be updated, please do that because it's very important. Appreciate you doing that. Hey, Miss D. Pate, thank you for checking in this evening. Thank you. I hope you and everybody's doing well in your family. We're just going to give a few minutes as we get started, just enjoying a little outside scenery and just listen to the birds sing and just thanking God for a good day. Alrighty. If you do have any prayer requests, praise reports, please feel free to share those with us as we're getting checked in here. Is everybody signing on that wants to? If you got a praise report that something good's happened, we need good news. And if you need us to join you in prayer, nothing we'd rather do than ask the Lord to help you. There's Brother Tony from up there in North Alabama. Thank you for checking in with us. And hey, Cousin Deborah, good to see you tonight from Piedmont. Thank you so much for checking in with us. We're just going to wait just another minute or so because we got much to share tonight. And so it's going to take us a few minutes, and we don't want to hurry through if we don't have to. Hey, Miss Sue, good to see you this evening. Hope you and all your family are well. Let's see here if I missed anybody. I think I've got everybody that I can see so far. I think Mo might join us tonight. Mo, you joining us tonight? She's thinking about it. She'll probably come in just the middle of everything. All right. We'll give just another little bit, and then we'll dive in. And of course, share your praise reports, prayer requests at any time. Okay. All right. Let me see what I got. Mo, you coming to help me? I think she's just thinking about it tonight. But hey, hope everybody's doing good. Good to see y'all here on Wednesday Night Live. I want to give just a couple of minutes there for everybody to check on. We got a lot of stuff to share with you this evening. It's very important for our ministry going forward, and we're just grateful to God for all He's done. Let me just remind you, just as we're getting started, if there's a couple of things that you may need to be aware of. Sunday school material for the next quarter is available for pickup. The church office is open between 8 and 3 Monday through Thursday. And if for some reason you're not able to get there, whatever, need us to help you with that, please just call the office at 256-463-2576 and just let us know that you need help obtaining your Sunday school materials for the next quarter, and we'll be glad to get those to you. Won't be any problem at all. Our Sunday school lessons are continuing to be online as they have been since we started them during the pandemic. Children came on at 4:30 today. Students came on at 5:30 today, and adult lesson will be coming on tomorrow at 5:30. So you get children, students, and adults, all age groups, on our Facebook page every week. And I just want to say again, in case I ever forget, how grateful I am and how thankful I am for all you guys and girls that are helping put that together, recording, teaching, just doing whatever it takes, uploading. It's just a great blessing. So thank you so very much for your help with that. Okay, would you agree with me that 2020 has been probably the greatest roller coaster year of your life? I mean, I know it has mine, and it may be for you, but I believe across the nation, if not around the world, I tell you, it's very important that we realize kind of what we're in, and it has been a roller coaster of a ride, to say the least. From March 15th till May 17th, 9 Sundays, we had to go strictly online because of the COVID-19 outbreak, the national shutdown, and all the things that we endured during that time. So we were 9 weeks exclusively online. And since that time, May 24th through August 2nd, last week, we have been able to meet again in person. We had 2 worship opportunities available on Sunday morning at 8:30 and at 10:30, and we practiced social distancing. We cleaned before, between, and after each service, and just had wonderful help and response. Our deacons and volunteers, you've just been a blessing. I can't express to you how much of a blessing you've been during this time, and thank you so much for every sacrifice you've made, every time you've come early, stayed late, and just did whatever it takes. I just want you to know how grateful I am. But today we were notified in our office this afternoon that we have our first positive COVID-19 case in our church family from our 10:30 worship service this past Sunday. Now, thankfully, this person is asymptomatic right now, but was notified on Sunday evening of exposure. Didn't know about it till Sunday evening. Once found out, was tested, and then of course the test came back positive. Well, with that being the case, I wanted to make sure, once again, I want to make sure I do everything that I can to protect you, and also to help you and serve you and lead you the very best I know how. So I, of course, got in consultation with medical professionals, people that really know what they're talking about. Not me. I wouldn't know how to talk on those things, so I had to reach out to folks that really did, and how to best handle the situation going forward. Now, because of that, when we have a positive test, we will have to go back to online only service for the next 2 Sundays at least, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But I know your first question is you know, I was at church Sunday 10:30, do I need to get tested? And what I am being told is that as of right now, you only need to get tested if you're presenting symptoms. And you know, a lot of the symptoms we talked about, loss of smell, loss of taste, smell, also the others for like fatigue and pain, body aches and things like that. If you're experiencing those things, then by all means you do need to do that. And in most cases, I understand that if you are going to present symptoms, if you've been exposed, it will be between days 7, 8, and 9, and 10 after exposure. Now, that's not always textbook exactly, but by and large, that's what they're telling me, that days 7 through 10 are the days you're most likely to present symptoms if you're going to have them. And we realize that this virus is very different, to say the least, because it's affecting people differently. Some people have very little symptoms, some people have very serious symptoms, and we don't make light of it or in one bit. We want you to know it's very serious, and we take it like that. I do want to share with you some other information that was given to me by medical professionals on the degree of exposure that might help you a little bit. They classify this in 2 degrees, 1st degree and 2nd degree. 1st degree exposure is if you came in contact with someone without a mask, you were within 6 feet, and you carried on a conversation that lasted 10 minutes or more. That would be 1st degree exposure, and you would definitely need to be tested if you are notified by anybody, inside church, outside the church, at work, in your neighborhood, whatever it might be, family member. If you've been that close to contact, you'll definitely need to follow up. 2nd degree exposure is if you have a mask and you practice social distance. Now, in our church, we've worked very diligently to do that. We've not only encouraged masks, we've provided them if you don't have them. Hand sanitizer has been everywhere, and like I said, we're cleaning pews before and after every service, and we're also making sure that the pews are distanced every other pew. So we're working hard on that, but still, you know, there's no way to make it perfect. So if you knowingly had 1st degree contact with someone, unmasked, within 6 feet, in a 10-minute or more conversation with someone who tested positive, your chances of contracting COVID-19 are much higher than if you wear a mask and maintain social distance. Now, like I said, we've taken every precaution we know, but there's no way we can bring a risk factor to 0 anywhere. The grocery store, the post office, the bank, the church, your home, my home, there's no way it can be. School's going to open next week, so certainly we don't want to minimize the risk at all. So remember that. So as I said, for these reasons, we will return to online only services this week and next week at least. Now, that service will be at 10 a.m. It will be live on Facebook. It will also be live through our other online avenues. If you want to know what all of those are, you can visit our website, heflinbaptist.org, and it will give you a list of ways that you can watch online outside of Facebook Live and outside of YouTube. There's a whole bunch of them, so please check that out. At this point, once we get to the 16th, 2 Sundays from last Sunday, which would be a 14-day, once we get past that day, we'll reevaluate the situation based on what happens between now and then. Because one thing we're learning in this situation is, things can change quickly. And I've been reminding our church family throughout this time that it's really not a matter of if, it's when we had a positive test and we had to make the necessary precautions. Okay, so we will reevaluate after August 16th, and we'll continue to be making videos and announcements throughout this time. We'll also use calling posts that I've made you aware of. If you do get a call from calling posts and you've not gotten one or not saved the number in your phone, it will come up as an Oklahoma City number with a 405 area code. But it will leave you a message if you're afraid it's a telemarketer or somebody telling you your car warranty is out of date. If you want to just let it go in there, then it leave you a message, fine. But please save it in your contacts as HBC info line, and that way when the call comes in, you won't think it's a telemarketer. I mean, you might want to take it or check it later. But check our website out for any updates. Check our Facebook page. We'll stay in touch with you the best we possibly know how. So I really covet your prayers during this time. I really appreciate what you're doing and how you've been doing and look forward to it. So throughout the course of this pandemic, we've all been challenged. And honestly, I believe we will continue to be challenged in the days ahead. And I truly believe that our current struggles, as hard as it may sound, are really for our benefit as we learn to trust the Lord more deeply than we ever have in the past. He's really pulled my heart, and he's tugged my heart in a lot of ways and really shown me how much he loves us and how much we should love one another. So I would appreciate you doing that. You look at this not only about the challenges, but look and see what God's trying to teach us and what he's trying to bring out of us and how he's trying to bring us much closer to him. So with that being said, I want to share a few things with you from the Word that I hope will really help you, because I'll tell you, this Word has been such a comfort, such a guide, and such a help in these hours that we've been going through since early mid-March. And now that we're having to take what we might consider a step back once again, thank God we're still able to communicate. Thank God we're still able to connect. And hopefully, after 2 weeks, we'll be able to resume if we don't have any further outbreak. If we do, we're going to take it one day at a time, and just know that we're going to be here for you, and we're going to be here to help you, and I know you're going to be here to help each other. Let me share with you something that Paul told Timothy in 2 Timothy chapter 2. I love these verses 1 through 4. It's good verses for a time like this. He says, "You therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Christ Jesus, and the things which you have heard from me among many witnesses. Commit these to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. You therefore must endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No one engaged in warfare entangles himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who enlisted him as a soldier." Paul's reminding Timothy about some very important things that I believe that will be of great help to you and I as we move forward. Here's the first few things I want you to notice from the text. First thing is he talks to Timothy, he calls him his son. He's his son not by blood or by birth. He's his son because they're brothers together in the gospel, but he's really invested into the life of Timothy. He's poured his heart and soul into him, because here's what Paul knew. Paul knew he wouldn't live forever, and he knew someone would have to come behind him to carry on what God had burned in his heart. And that's so important that we don't miss out on that, because there are people looking to us. They're looking for us to be strong, and you may be looking for somebody to help you be strong. I know what a help and encouragement it's been for me, for many of you, just to be able to connect with you through these videos, to be able to know that we are still praying for one another, we're still caring for one another, and we're still trusting God for greater days. We see the portrait of a son, and then we see the portrait of a servant. He's telling him, these things that I'm teaching you, don't keep them to yourself. Don't hide them. They're too big. You can't keep them to yourself. I want you to take these things and find other faithful men. And you teach them that they'll teach other faithful men, that they'll teach other faithful men, and that they'll teach other faithful men. And the process of making disciples will continue forward. And thank God you and I are a recipient of that today, because somebody along the way in your life and mine received the word from someone else, and they shared it with us. And you and I, our challenge is to continue sharing it with the next generation, so that we'll be faithful servants and we'll be faithful to carry on the work of the gospel. A portrait of a son, a portrait of a servant, but then there's the portrait of a soldier. He's saying you're going to have to endure some hardness as a good soldier. And there's two things he talks about a soldier must have. And here's two words. One is the word endure. Now, I tell you, I love to enjoy things. I really do. But sometimes we feel like we're enduring things, when what we have to realize is that the things we're enduring are really for our benefit. As bad as it sounds, as hard as it may be to swallow, the tough things, the hard times, they're for our benefit, even though we don't always like to look at it that way. He said you're going to have to endure, and then he uses another word called entangled. Y'all know what entangled means. You know, it's kind of like I got these things in my shop where I roll up my extension cords, because if I keep them rolled up on that roll like it's supposed to be, then I'm less likely to have trouble the next time I need to use it. But what happens if you don't roll them up right? If you don't roll up your water hose, you don't roll up your extension cord, it's very easy for them to get tangled up. Kind of like Christmas lights. Don't you enjoy untangling those every year? No, you don't. Sometimes you just want to say, we'll just go get some more. I don't want to have to untangle that mess. Well, here's what Paul was saying to Timothy. He said, if you're really going to be a soldier for Jesus Christ, then you're going to have to be careful to not get so entangled with the affairs of this life that it chokes out the ability of God to work in your life. And I tell you, that happens so much in our world today, especially during this time. Everybody wants to pick sides over politics, and pick sides over policies, and pick sides over candidates, and pick sides over all this kind of stuff, when really what God's calling the church to do is don't get so caught up in that we're not pointing people to Him. That's really important, so don't forget that. He said, you're going to have to endure, but don't you get entangled. It's what I often tell my children and remind them, even though they're young adults now. I say, girls, listen to me. Boats don't sink because they're in the water. A boat sinks when water gets inside the boat. So you got to be careful to guard your heart. You got to be careful what gets in you, because what gets in you will eventually come out of you. So remember those things. The portrait of a son, the portrait of a servant, the portrait of a soldier. And that's what we need to remember in these days ahead. I read two really good quotes this morning and put them in my journal in my quiet time today, and it helped me tremendously, even before I knew what all we'd be talking about tonight, because events have changed through the day. Charles Haddon Spurgeon, great preacher of the 19th century in London, England, Metropolitan Tabernacle, said this: "He who counts the stars and calls them by their name is in no danger of forgetting his own children." He who counts the stars and calls them not by any name but by their name is in no danger of forgetting his own children. If you belong to Him, He's far from forgot you. And then Tony Evans said this: God never allows anything in your life that He does not promise to use for good if you are one of His children living according to His purpose. If you will make Jesus your focus, He will make His love both your comfort and your strength. Place your eyes on Him, because He is for you. I think about that. If you visit Heflin Baptist Church, you come in my office, you can look at the walls, and you don't have a hard time figuring out who I'm for. Not at all. You don't figure out. There's no orange, there's no blue, none of that, those ugly, ungodly, sinful colors. No, I'm just saying, if y'all listening, just if you're still with me, all right? But there's no doubt who I'm for. But I want to tell you, that's just something temporary that'll go away. Won't matter a bit in eternity. It's just something I enjoy doing. I enjoy college football and enjoy it very much. I hope we get to see some this year. But I want to tell you what blesses me more than anything else is when I realize that the Lord of glory is for me, and He's for His children. If you're one of His children, remember this: He's for you. He's cheering you on, and He's believing great things for you, okay? So don't ever forget that. Don't think that God's forgot us. He hadn't. Is it stressful? Absolutely. Do we struggle? Absolutely. But is He still faithful? Absolutely. So let me just remind you of those things. And one last time, where are we going for this coming weekend? As this weekend, we're back fully online. No in-person services for at least the next 2 Sundays, August 9th and 16th, okay? So our 8:30 and 10:30 service, once again, not been canceled, just been postponed. Just like our mission trips for the summer, we're not canceled, just postponed, all right? So as we go toward this Sunday, 10 a.m. we'll be online, Facebook Live, YouTube, and go to the website, heflinbaptist.org, and look at all the possibilities. They got lots of good stuff there now, okay? Guys have worked hard, got us some better cameras, and also got us some more avenues to share the gospel, so I'm grateful. So instead of 8:30 and 10:30 in person, online at 10 o'clock only on Sunday, and then we'll reevaluate after the 16th to see when it would be safest. Now, we know there's no way to make it 100% safe, but we're going to do everything we can, and we're going to keep believing God for greater things, because some of the medical professionals I talked to today said this. They said, Pastor, and these are not just people who know medicine. These are people who love Jesus too, okay? Big difference, all right? They know medicine and love Jesus, and very level-headed, not sensationalizing, just stating the facts. Said, Pastor, you can take comfort in one thing. This won't last forever. And I thought to myself, no, this won't, but I know my soul will, in a place called glory. And if you know Jesus, that's something you can take comfort in today, okay? So I look forward to seeing you online Sunday at 10. Please tune in. Encourage everybody you can to do that. And then between now and then, we'll come back, I'm sure, with some updates. So please pay attention to your Facebook. And I know there's not much danger of people not doing that. And we'll come back with some other updates, and just pray much. And just know that God loves you, and know that I love you, and there ain't a thing you can do about it. God bless. Have a great Wednesday evening. Look forward to talking to you again soon.